Okay, back with another bug, but I think we got a funny one this time. I found an issue in this repository called rosenpass, and the issue is hilariously very similar to the strip ANSI issue that we looked at in, I think it's called typecast. Um, this is a Rust-based project, so it's not the same language or package manager, but the issue itself is very similar, and they both happen to be related to kind of like terminal-ish stuff. Um, the issue is basically saying we should just migrate away from this package, this AATTY package. Um, like I said, the repository is called rosenpass. It's pretty interesting. I've never heard of this before. It seems to be a library for setting up VPNs that are secure in a like post-quantum cryptography type of way. And I don't pretend to understand everything that it's talking about, but it's a very security-related project. So I was expecting that this would be hard, but the first thing that I just did is I went to crates.io, which is the site for browsing Rust packages from Cargo, and just searched for ATTY. And it seems that the usage of this project is just to check whether a specific Rust stream is a TTY stream. Is it, like a console stream, and just produces a true or false value. That by itself doesn't seem too trivial. There's probably some like platform specific concerns there, but when I went to the GitHub page for ATTY, it basically had this label on it that this is no longer maintained, and there's a built-in to do the exact same thing, just like in the Node.js case, the strip ANSI case that we were looking at. So in order for this to not be too boring, I'm going to try to do this as quick as possible, and we'll see. So I'm going to get right into cloning this repository, and we'll see what happens. Could not find cargo.toml. Oh yeah, I'm not even in the... Okay, we'll see how that goes. And I think they had a little thing here. No, they have something for doing their security analysis, but presumably I can run tests with cargo test. And if I can run tests with cargo test, then I think we're ready to get going. Open cargo.lock ATTY. Interesting that it doesn't find that package anywhere in any of the Rust files. Surprising. Half expected the issue to be fixed already. It's in here. It's not in the cargo.toml file. Lots of unused stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check actually and just is the alternative, which is terminal, is that used? it's not. So it's not like somebody did a migration and then forgot to remove it from the it is atty, right? Yeah. Forgot to remove it from the cargo.log file. So what is using this? Definitely a bit surprising. There are a lot of cargo.toml files here, but none of them contain atty, or it would have shown up when I did my search. So no. Sure, give me a toml extension. Let's see if we can find the history for the cargo.toml file, because this is the one, this cargo.log file is the one that has atty in it. Oh, criterion. It's a different package that depends on it, which I should have realized, because in the bug it goes from rosenpass to criterion, then to atty. So all of this doesn't matter, and let's figure out what criterion is. Workspace. Does that mean that it's in here? No. Let's check cargo.toml, criterion. It just has a version, doesn't have a Git repository. So back to crates.io, criterion. It's a microbenchmarking library. That's kind of fun. And the repository. This is not actively developed, but 3 months ago, so not that bad. Here, atty does not exist in their cargo.toml file, which means that the version here is the issue. rosenpass is tied to criterion 0.4.0, not 0.5.1. So let's look at the history here and see something here probably got rid of tty. Yep. This happened back in 2023. At the time, the version number in cargo.toml, oh, they just used is terminal. That's interesting, because that's also not the recommended replacement. Is there a more recent change that gets rid of his terminal? Atty with that? No. Back to crates.io is terminal. Test whether a given stream is a terminal. Same thing. Is this going to be deprecated? Yes. So if we, oh, not what I wanted. I want this one. So at the time, the version was 0.4.0. So now we have an option, because we could use, if we update criterion to 0.4.1, which I believe was one of the versions that existed. No. So we have to go from 0.4 to 0.5 to get this update. But even if we do that, we're still going to be taking on the is terminal dependency because criterion, as far as I can tell, let's check in the file kernel, is terminal. No, somebody's removed his terminal as well from here. Remove his terminal dependency. So if we go forward to version 0.5.1, well, there's no version newer than that, but if we go forward to 0.5.1, we fix all the issues. So that's going to be potentially a little more complicated because I don't know how to update Rust packages. Now, let's look at cargo. Cargo help update. Options spec, update only the specified package. So if I do cargo update criterion, Windows-sys, pass -- verbose, to see 75 unchanged dependencies. So all of this, why did the version numbers here go down? That seems odd. Windows-sys. Get rid of this. Windows-sys. Okay. Back to the cargo.toml file. Criterion is still 0.4.0, and in the lock file, it's also still 0.4.0. After just running update. If I do help on the update again, when used to specific version number to set the package to, and I want 0.5.1, so oh, I already forget what it was called, precise. So the version for the requirement criterion equals 0.4.0, versions found which didn't match 0.5.1. So in criterion, we have this in the lock file. What do we have in this? Okay. Candidate versions which didn't match 0.5.1. I think cargo.toml version syntax. Only the name of the version string require the version string. Represents the version range. Greater than this, less than this, which is what I want. So I'm surprised that this doesn't allow an update. Let's see what happens if I just update this to 5. Removing atty, removing clap hash from text trap. Goes here. Now criterion is set to 0.5.1. That's right. Now if we do a build, it still works. Here we're going to compile, break. And so far none of the tests fail. Now I am going to check, what do we use criterion for? What even was criterion? This way, nope. Crates.io, criterion. Oh yeah, it was just a benchmarking library. So I don't think there's going to be like security critical or anything like that. Is there a way for me to run the benchmarks? That would be a good idea. If I look at test benchmarks, run our tests, stack memory, coverage reports, format, spawn, development environment Linux. Don't think I need a development environment, but I would like to run all the tests. So benches, fun criterion benchmark. Did this run? Might not have. So let's, if I do rosenpass benches, handshake. What is, oh, it is here. Cargotomal. Anything in here mentioned bench? Name equals handshake, harness equals false. So this is handshake. So if I go into the rosenpass directory, can I run cargo bench? And nowhere else uses criterion. No. So this is the only usage. So I think this change is as simple as bumping the version number, and as long as the benchmarks run without any issue, then it should be compatible. We can also look at the same time, we could look at criterion and see if they have a release API docs. Do they have a changes? User guide, changelog, there we go. 0.5. Yeah, so nothing here seems like, I don't know this that well, but it doesn't, they're not calling out any specific breaking changes here. Benchmarks are running, they all ran. That looks pretty reasonable. And I'm fairly certain that the only changes are the lock file and the toml file. Indeed. So I think we're good to go. Okay, so this just references this version. I see. Make sure that we're using one version across everything. And the only usage is in the benchmark. Yeah. Bump version for criterion to 0.5.0. Drop dependency on ATTY is terminal. I want to get this right because they haven't released a version since 0.5.1. And above that, yeah, we removed the is terminal dependency. So the is dependency was later dropped in. That's kind of ugly. Ooh, just reverted my whole thing. Bump version of criterion to 0.5.0. Version 0.5.0 drops the dependency on ATTY, replaces it with is terminal. Later commit drops the is terminal dependency and replaces it with stdio is terminal. But another version of criterion has not been used since that change. I think that's everything we need to do. Rosenpass fork. Create fork. Get yes. I should run cargo audit. What did they run in the bug to generate that report? It was cargo audit. Find a package to install audit cargo search cargo audit cargo help install. Do I have to install this globally? Because I don't want to. Audit is not in this toml file, right? No. It is in Pacman. Let's do that instead. Because I believe I'm using Rust from there. Although I might be using Rust up. I am. But let's see if this works. This is clean. This. We go here. This. Preview. just a little ugly. That's right. Fixes number 596. Changes to the toml file and the lock file. ADDY clap 4.5. It's nice in that it removes a lot of dependencies. Not so nice in that it the change is much bigger than I would like. Yeah. It's not the type of change that I would trust an external one-time contributor to make suddenly just because there's a lot of changes to a lock file, but I'll see what they say. I didn't generate any of this. This all just came from removing the one dependency or updating the one dependency of criterion. So we'll see what they say. And there it is. Alrighty, so another really easy issue, not too long, and I thought it would end up being similar to the typecast issue, but this ends up being different in that we're bumping a dependency to fix the issue there rather than making the code changes ourselves. But still a lot of interesting little things to look at, and luckily I think we got it figured out. So thanks everyone, and see you next time.